Back, everyone. Welcome back to
the night, and it's gonna be
welcome back to the final series here of the 2025 RSL Revival StarCraft League Season 3 Playoffs Day number 2. The final series of the broadcast is going to be Maru versus MaxPax. We just wrapped up with Hero versus Rainer. It was more of a one-sided series. Was hoping for more of a back and forth, but GG well played. Hero does take a 3-0, and now we're about to jump into our TvP. I see in the chats discussing ZVP. I should bring this to the table here and now. When it comes to Zerg versus Protoss, if you've been watching ZVP over the past like 2 weeks, basically ever since the map pool went live, it's been around 2 weeks, the ZVP meta has been in flux and has been changing. If you've noticed, I mean, you can even see it in this tournament. Looking at the playoffs, Hero versus Rainer, Shin versus Trigger, even Classic versus Rainer in the first series as well, in the upper brackets, there's been no late game. Like, there's been no late game, as opposed to in the last map pool in the last season where we saw a lot more late game PvZ. Nowadays, it's a lot more mid game oriented. The reason for this is because in the latest patch, in the latest map pool, they're less favorable towards turtle heavy play. So in the previous map pool, I would have said it was easier for Protoss to be more defensive, to turtle up and to get into Sky Toss, to get into late game. Nowadays, it is more difficult for that to happen. So we've been seeing a lot more aggressive games in the mid game, which I think is a nice change. And we even saw that in last series with Hero being very aggressive versus Rainer, which is what we've been seeing more of. But different matchup, different series. We're jumping into our best of 5. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have Maru for Team Vitality. In the top right, we have MaxPax for Storm Gaming. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our Terran versus Protoss matchup.
I mean, he's always been good in the matchup, obviously. We'll have to see what kind of stuff he's playing, though, these days.
Yeah, Maru's off races are pretty good. He ladders on the Korean server with Protoss and Zerg quite a bit as well.
When it comes to this matchup here, I was very pleasantly surprised by Maru's performance previously in the tournament when he was able to bring down or showcase his TvZ. I've been very vocal about this, but I've been very disappointed with Maru's play this year. It's been very predictable. It's been very predictable and very one note, referring to Maru's performance at EWC, referring to his performance at GSL Season 1 and Season 2, and Maru's performance in DreamHack Dallas as well. Even though he won DreamHack Dallas, he was playing very predictably, and I wasn't really too fond of it. He was heavily reliant on mech and heavily reliant on 8 racks as well throughout the entire year. But what I love about this latest patch, and what I love about what we have seen so far to Maru, is that in the latest patch, 8 Raxes, this is specifically for versus Zerg, we'll get into versus Protoss, but 8 Raxes have been weakened because of the buff to Banelings, and Mech is weaker because of the nerf to the Cyclone, so it's been forcing Maru to play other styles. It's been forcing him to play a different way, and honestly, it's been refreshing. It's been refreshing, and it's been exciting to see Maru forced to kind of deviate away from his typical styles this year and explore other avenues and have a lot more variety in his play. And I would say that about this matchup as well. Maru, he was known for playing a lot of Mech against Protoss, and a lot of 2-base all-ins. Now 2-base all-ins are weaker, and Mech is weaker as well. So we should be seeing something different out of Maru. First things first, 3 CC before Factory, hyper greed out of Maru.
Here at the natural expansion pretty soon. We're about to have 3 Marines. The second adept, I'm not sure how quickly it's going to be reaching across the map. I think the production tab, it might have been chrono boosted. I feel like that is finishing so faster.
So this should be 3 CC 3 racks. This is a relatively common build with Maru and Bjorn.
I don't think it's going to be just too late. Yeah, I think the CC will finish. The Marines will be able to delay it for just a moment here. And there is a ramp here, so it's a little bit awkward walking up into the Marine fire. You know, you have to take a couple shots before you can actually hit back. But with the second adept joining up here,
then I added anything. I was so running back, talking about the build here. So this is 3 CC 3 racks. As I mentioned before, if you've been watching Bjorn, Maru, and even it's been permeating to players like Cure as well amongst the Korean scene. This is a build that they do like to mix in over the past like a couple of years of play. This is very greedy, but it is map dependent, and we would often see this build on like Side Delta, for example, or even we saw it a little bit on Maganatha as well. But here we're seeing it on Celestial Enclave. There is a pocket base, so it is safer to go for this build. It is very greedy, and this really spikes up in power, in strength in the mid game once you get up to 3 base saturation.
to be following this up with Blink and a quick third of his own. This is kind of the standard way Protoss is like.
So early on, Maru is vulnerable. He is vulnerable early on because he has no factory, because he has no tank production. But once he's able to build up his 3-base economy and build up into stim, build up into his upgrades, then he can excel when it comes to supply.
Yeah, nice pullback as well there by MaxPax.
Like, that's when the greed kicks in the mid game.
If they're going for these shades for the scouting, Terran players will try and just kind of pull the rug out from under them. The moment that vision goes away, they move down the ramp there with the Marines. Maru tried it, but MaxPax, he was watching. He didn't get caught with his pants down. He kept both those adepts alive, and he's getting a lot more scouting information as a result. Maru, meanwhile, he is going up to, I think it's 3 barracks in total right now, adding in the factory, of course, with that really fast 3rd CC. His economy is in a very good position.
Again, as we mentioned, 3 CC, 3 racks is the build.
The game is really nice. Actually having that before the Protoss is not kind of what we usually see, but that is because of this map, particularly having that pocket base.
Whoops.
Allowed you to do that. Okay, actually finishes a shade.
Nice figure by Maru.
Does get to see the top of the ramp, but will lose the adept.
I mean, these adepts aren't particularly useful here in the mid game.
Right.
that is, I think, a mistake.
They're not useful, but you do want to keep them alive to scout.
Scouting, that does give him some information. He can probably determine from that scout that this is a 3CC build. I wonder if that actually wasn't intentional.
And MaxPax, he has a direct route into the natural. Can he punish Maru? He's going for it.
To this 3rd base. I think it might have actually been intentional because he's using that information right away. He gets 2 SCVs taken down.
Doesn't lose anything.
A little bit of hull damage on 1 Stalker.
Yeah, with the quick 3CC, you don't have as many units as you might have. You don't have the tanks that you often use to deal with
3 SCVs.
So
decent
MaxPax
damage.
put that to good use. This adept somehow found his way into the natural as well. 3 SCVs go down.
Nice little move right there. 3 SCVs in total falling is...
And again, it is crucial that MaxPax gets these pickoffs. Like, he cannot let Maru get away with this greed. So whatever SCVs he can get, whatever Marines he can pick off, is going to be a plus. Welcome to Celestial Enclave. This is a very large map of the map pool. Large map, long rush distance by ground. He's working towards Colossus, but he does need time for that Colossus production.
Yeah, we already have 4 gateways done. A lot more are in production. And I think MaxPax, he's hoping that Maru moves out across the map and he could just completely overwhelm this. It's not a very tech-based army, and so what MaxPax has on the field, it's not going to be scaling well. He wants to trade.
Yeah, absolutely. He's even taking this forward-facing 4th base, not opting to go for the top left one that's very far away, and not opting to go for the pocket one as well. It doesn't give you the full eco. And actually gets
it is important that they bring up the fact that MaxPax took the center base. It is a very exposed expansion, so we'll see if we can get away with it.
The Observer is going to survive. Nice move there by MaxPax to fold that back. And for Maru, he's just now finally coming online. The last 2 barracks, at least for the 3 base setup, are finishing up right now. +1 infantry weapons.
Ooh, setting up for the surround.
He's setting up for what I think should be a surround on this army. Unfortunately for Maru, it is going to get spotted by a couple stray zealots.
Yeah, MaxPax will know. We'll be able to pull back these stalkers, go home, try to set up the defense.
See Maru trying to intercept.
Maru is starting to
Prism into the natural.
He will have some potential for counter harassment
catches who?
with the War Prism. That can fly into that pocket base.
He stims in.
Stalkers actually get caught by this
he gets 3.
flank here. Nice move by Maru.
Gets 4.
Already taken out
5.
4,
Oh my
5
god.
Stalkers. Big plays.
Oh, that's huge there for Maru. I thought that the flank might not be a worthwhile maneuver just because of the zealots.
Yeah, he does get 5 soldiers at the same time. Massive warp into the main base. Nice whole position of the SCVs.
These SCVs, it messes with the attack AI a little bit there on those zealots. They become lower priority compared to the bios, so just kind of working like a wall. Only 1 or 2 SCVs falling in the main base. In total, a little bit more damage getting done here in the natural expansion. So 9 SCVs are going to fall. 1 more zealot trying to get maybe 1 or 2 more, but 9 is going to be the final tally. And right now, it's really Maru's time to shine. There's 1 Colossus out on the map. I think a second one should be joining it pretty soon. But Thermal Lance only just now begun, and a lot of critical upgrades here for Protoss. +1 armor, +2 ground weapons. They've only just started, whereas Maru, his production, it is in full swing. If he can get on the map, I think he can find a lot of damage.
Yeah, his production's insane right now, and we already have 2 Vikings being made at a time. Just as Thermal Lance is being fired up, so he's going to have a healthy Viking count.
Yeah, so here we're building up into the mid-game. We're slowing things down. Maru's getting a 4th base, is building up the Vikings, and MaxPax is looking to gain map control.
But we do see him throw down a turret ring there to deny that War Prism just flying into the pocket 3rd base. And we have a Ghost Academy going down as well. You know, we may need those eventually.
Yeah, we're slowing the game
High
down.
Templar, EMP, the Gateway Army, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I was thinking Maru might be the player to get aggressive in this situation, but he's actually content just to take a 4th base, wait until ghosts pump, and continue building up the Viking count. He's not playing to find any timing.
And this game is a good example of kind of the trajectory of the meta for TvP. If you haven't been watching TvP over the past month, you may not be aware of this, but TvP has been slowing down when it comes to all-ins. I mean, we made reference to this at the start of the series, how 2-base all-ins have fallen out of favor in this matchup, same with mech play, of course, and we've seen a lot more mid-game. We've seen a lot more maxed out armies instead. It's interesting to kind of take note of, but it's like the opposite for PvZ, where we've been seeing less late game in PvZ and more late game in TvP, just because of the map pool.
Alright, nice pick off of the Viking right there by MaxPax.
Oh, the map pool and, of course, the patch, the meta.
Prism in a very cheeky position over here, warping it in the natural.
Prism goes down.
For MaxPax, Maru was very well positioned. I mean, he plays MaxPax in so many of these online tournaments that he's pretty familiar with MaxPax and his zealot shenanigans. So he's able to shut that down nice and easy.
Nice reactions, dodging that Widow Mine shot there. We'll be able to pick that off. And yeah, I'm actually just curious, like, who this is good for if they both just decide to go straight to the late game like this. I think
I'll say Maru's in a better position here.
Late game Terran in the world, maybe. He's up there for sure. We'll have to see how he's going to maneuver this. We see a lot of marauders.
Like Maru's taking up into ranged liberators. We do see that MaxPax, he's double expanding.
You talk to a lot of Protoss players these days, and just because of the DPS of Storm being reduced, even though the overall damage is higher due to the high duration, a lot of people give the advantage to Terran in the late game. Of course, the Ghost, even though it has the light tag, it also has a lot of extra HP as compensation. It is now 2 supply again. So Terran's got a lot going for them in late game TvP, and Maru is just comfortable to go for that right now.
So State, he's touching it a little bit, but that's also one of the reasons why we've been seeing a lot more late game. We did make reference to the maps, we also made reference to the patch as well, but now that you can make more ghosts, now you're going to have a very ghost heavy composition in the late game alongside liberators, and that does favor the Terran. So like if Maru can get into a maxed out army with liberator, Viking, ghost, then he can excel and he can overwhelm.
We got some stormers over here. I like that.
Yeah, but I absolutely prefer the army comp of Maru right now. I feel like if Maru takes a very good fight, it's going to be hard for Max.
I wouldn't say that I would prefer Maru's army composition right now. He's getting there. He doesn't have liberators yet. Like, I would say that Maru's army isn't there yet, but he's getting there. He's working on that.
You see, with a long duration, sometimes people storm and then their zealots or their stalkers charge through.
Because he's very marine heavy.
Yeah, indeed. Maru trying to land this 5th base now. A zealot does spot that. MaxPax going to swing over here, see if he can deny that, but Maru's in position.
Oh, MaxPax has become to be cornered.
MaxPax still not taking his pocket base, kind of interestingly, going for the top left base and the other
be so careful.
one at the front instead.
EMPs are coming in.
It gives him more income
Lands
here.
one.
We might finally have a big engagement. Looks like MaxPax
Storm zones.
a little bit hesitant. It's like he's sharking forward, but he doesn't want to fully fight in a committed head-on engagement. This
oh no, the prism!
A turret that's just to deal with that one specific war prism spot.
Yeah, I love to see it. Nice move there by Maru, just completely covering all of his bases. And the natural...
There's Liberator range in the production tab. As you mentioned, like Maru, his late game, his end game is to get into Liberators. He's almost there.
Key upgrades coming in right now. Liberator range, ship weapons, +3 infantry weapons, +2 infantry armor here for Maru. All in production.
Yeah, indeed, ton of upgrades. We're going all the way here. Even shield upgrades on the side of the Protoss. I don't know what that blink was. Trying to catch a Viking, I guess. There's a couple Stalkers and Zealots trying to take down this wall, open up another avenue of attack for his harassment, but it is spotted by the Bio.
Nice time for the Prism.
Prism goes down.
Maru's slightly out of position. He did pull away.
Attacked on the other side by a load of Colossus and
Liberators are in production.
Storm, zoning out the Terran army, seeing if he can pick off some of these.
He needs those libs.
In production.
Yeah, those CCs, they do form a bottleneck for the Zealots trying to charge in. But at the same time, they're also quite vulnerable against the range fire of the Stalkers, of the Colossus. So one of these command centers is going to be canceled here. MaxPax forcing Maru's hand, whereas Maru's setting up for a little bit of a surround right now. Going to try and push down this ramp as well as toward the thirds. And MaxPax is like, you know what, you're trying to surround me. How about I just collapse on one of these positions first? Unfortunately, Maru is able to hightail out of there.
And again, this game is all about just defending. Like, it's all about Maru just turtling until he perfects his army. And here we go. The first 2 Liberators have arrived. He's got 4 more on the way. Once he builds up a critical mass of libs, then Maru can start pushing. Up until that point, he's stuck at home.
We are really going into the late game now. Ultra late game.
Storm
Wanna High Templar getting picked off.
Kill another
there
cancel on the
almost.
CC.
And here we go, this engagement with this angle. I was going to say it looks good for Maru, but the Zealot flank comes in. The main
Yeah, Maru, he will take this fight. Chasing the Colossus, he gets 3.
Back here.
Oh my god.
Very, very good for Maru.
Gets all 4, yeah, MaxPax here overextended.
Stalkers being warped in at once from MaxPax.
Yeah, he needs to
Oh my
replenish
god.
the soccer count because the Vikings just completely toppled the Colossus. That was a very good fight there for Maru. It was looking good for MaxPax in the beginning, especially once those Zealots came in, but they clean up.
That was a questionable fight for MaxPax. To push into a turtling Terran player, like that was a bold move and it did not pay off. With that, MaxPax takes a worse fight. Maru, he now breaks out. Now he's building up to critical mass Liberators, and he can soon push.
Colossus on the board. We're adding a third Aroba right now. Just
MaxPax does counterattack. Okay, Planetary's exposed.
It's just Blink Stalkers and
nice pickup.
Kind of an interesting tactic. He's going to use those to snipe a planetary
Gets 1 lib.
fortress.
Gets
it's
2.
Stalkers and Zealots streaming in the 4th base right now. Maru's going to have to pivot and
So
land
he picks up 2 Liberators, snipes the Planetary.
Yeah, manages to pick off 1 base, but there's another CC right next.
Again, MaxPax has a very mobile composition, but in a head-on fight, Maru will take it. So MaxPax has to be very careful here. It's a very delicate army, a very delicate dance for MaxPax.
Right now, this particular choke point is the point of contention for both these guys. MaxPax, though,
very
is
delicate.
taking the whole map here, adding on more and more Nexus.
Yeah,
And Maru doesn't see any of it.
One more Liberator.
On the army at his doorstep right now.
I don't know if you noticed, every time MaxPax goes in, he snipes a Liberator. Oh no, he overextends.
He's playing the numbers game right now. It is Stalkers and Zealots.
But he's just slowly picking off 1 Liberator at a time, just making sure that Maru's Liberator count stays low.
Try and count them on the minimap right now. It's just a lot of bases, and Maru's
gotta
like,
keep down the freedom.
As long as I'm max, as long as I'm taking good trades, as long as I am slowly but safely expanding, I don't need to have the world's biggest economy. I can just beat you with a better composition, and so far it's working.
Yeah, indeed. MaxPax has a pretty crazy bank.
Yeah, and you can see he's just being bullied away by the freedom zones. That's a lot of freedom.
Colossus,
it's a lot of freedom.
Going down here. I feel like MaxPax is playing a very dangerous game. Like, if you lose this army, it's so expensive here. And the Liberators constantly push this Protoss army back. If he keeps going a little bit more, he will see
MaxPax is getting cornered.
It's a tricky situation for MaxPax because
no, MaxPax, he can't take this fight. Oh my god.
Those Liberators there and then blinking back with these Stalkers. I think we have like 16 gateways.
Okay, he has to pull the hell out of here.
Expecting to see a big warp in. Yep, it will be Zealots to join in with a reinforcing Colossus. 19 gateways, in fact.
So insane the amount of production MaxPax has, but the problem is just this cost.
Charles also trying to dive in. Zealots go down. Colossus as well.
Into these liberation zones, the Vikings pick off the Colossus so quickly here, and there's no more storms.
And again, as you mentioned, like MaxPax in a head-on fight, he cannot take it. He cannot fight this army head-on. MaxPax has a harassing army more than anything.
In this situation versus an army of 3/3 bio. I know there's only 5 ghosts, but
and you can see MaxPax trying to just avoid the army. He's trying to counterattack, trying to catch reinforcements. He's getting caught out though.
They're really dishing out the damage. MaxPax, he does have speed though. His army's a little bit more maneuverable.
Does get 1 CC.
This orbital command, take down a lot of SCVs as well.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Again, it's an awkward situation because with MaxPax's army, because it's lower tech, he wants to be the one to trade, but the trades have just been so cost inefficient that it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
MaxPax can resupply quick though. Yeah, yes, he can, but that's why it's crucial that he plays like guerrilla tactics. Like he has to go in, pick off like a Liberator here and there, then back off, then go in, then get 1 or 2 pickoffs here and there. The problem is that it's too late. That Maru's pushing now.
This is kind of the first time we've even seen him move onto MaxPax's side of the map here in this game. Finally going to start being aggressive and take some more bases behind it.
Yeah, MaxPax is basically playing this PvT like he's a Zerg. He's going to try and beat the Terror.
It is very similar to TvP.
Not in 1 fight, but in 2 fights. He needs to be able to take down enough key units. In the first fight, by the way, that rallying probe might tell Maru that there is an expansion being taken in the bottom right corner. I think he's immediately jumping on this to check it out. So where is that probe coming from?
Yeah, it's going to be a kill.
Not going to be any mineral's mind. But yeah, for MaxPax, you need to do enough damage to the standing army of Maru in wave 1, and then leverage all of these gateways that you've got in a wave number 2 with a 5K or so resource bank that he's got right now.
That's a lot of freedom, Pappy.
To make that happen.
It's a lot of freedom.
He recognizes this situation as well. He's adding in a couple more tech structures.
MaxPax losing 2 more bases.
Stargates, a fleet beacon.
Liberators a little bit unsieged.
This is a pretty cost-efficient engagement right here, but it's difficult right now for MaxPax. You need a couple more fights like that to start putting a dent into what Maru's got.
Yeah, the army of Maru is just so.
Now you can
huge
see
right
that
now.
MaxPax
Only
finally is
50
teching, but this is
SCVs,
late.
which is
What I mean by
standard
that,
army,
Tempest
140
Sky Toss.
supply.
You can see on the production tab, you have a Fleet Beacon, Dark Shrine, and 2 Stargates on the way. We could have seen that like 8 minutes ago. Like 8 minutes ago, we could have seen that tech. This is very late for MaxPax. MaxPax, it looks like he had intended to end the game earlier. That means his Sky Toss is heavily delayed. Otherwise, that would have been the go-to. How do you fight against this Terran army in the late game with Sky Toss? But MaxPax isn't there.
But this Nexus goes down again, forced to cancel.
Yeah, Maru might be scratching.
I should say he's not there
where
yet.
this Protoss army is. He does spot it now with a sensor tower. One of these command centers will get canceled. Big blink forward, able to take down one of the Liberators, but Maru, because his army was in such a center position, is able to quickly get back to this expansion and defend it. For MaxPax, that was a necessary engagement because he needed to free some supply for these Tempest.
Yes. That is going to be the transition here, finally coming out of MaxPax. Try to get into those capital ships. If you get a ton of Tempest carriers out, you do have a chance against the Terran army.
Yeah, and for the first time this game, Maru's pushing. Like, Maru, he's been turtling and defending this entire time, playing on his half of the map, and finally, now that he's perfected his army with 3-3-3, he can now break out and look to kill MaxPax.
Where the Protoss army is right now.
Yeah, and he's staggering the Liberators right now. Just in command of this
That's
zone. The
EMPs.
Tempest will be able to put a little bit of timer right now.
Yeah,
on
Tempest,
those
they pick away at the
Liberators. They can
army.
use their long anti-air range to try and deal with those.
And you can see, like, this is the one way for MaxPax to fight this army head-on, is with Mass Tempest. To slowly pick away at the siege units, to pick away at the army. So far, I think that's 3 Tempest.
Yeah, gonna have so much anti-air to be able to deal with these Tempests.
Storm gets a lot of
Decent
damage.
Storm's going down on the Terran army here. He's desperately trying to get more Nexuses up, down on the right side of the map. And these Tempests
MaxPax, I believe, is building up to 6 Tempest.
Yep, but 3 reactored starports are pumping Vikings 6 at a time as Maru is seeking to try and take back air superiority here versus MaxPax. MaxPax using this window to try and maybe do some more economic damage done, but it's hard to push into this position, especially with the command center just kind of forming, again, a bottleneck there. You can't really find the angle that you need to snipe that PF with pure ranged units. You would get a little bit too deep into harm's way.
Yeah, the SimCity really working for Maru there as he continues to fight in the middle of the map. So many exchanges going on right now, action everywhere. And Maru has so many CCs, he's just got infinite scans basically. He's able to see exactly where MaxPax is moving his army around at all times, keep tabs on this army, and then as the Viking count continues to grow, he's going to be able to take out these
And
Tempests.
ICMP, Maru, he's going for another expansion. Again, MaxPax just cannot expand. He's been trying. He rotates the entire army.
He wants to get some good trades because Maru, even though his army is better and has been better for a long
There's no
time,
storms.
and
No,
even
sorry,
though his
there's...
trading has been
Okay,
better
there's
for
a
a
decent
long
amount of
time,
high tech.
because his economy has
He's just
never been
storms.
as good as MaxPax's, there just isn't much of a bank.
Right.
So these units, they are crucial here for Maru to keep them alive. One misstep where he loses a squadron of 3 or 4 medevacs worth of units. could prove to be a fatal
lands on
mistake.
EMP.
Oh, huge EMP on the Protoss army, though. Actually hits basically all the units there. MaxPax says, okay, I can't fight without my shield. Let's back up to this Nexus. And Maru now has the bottom right base, which I feel like he really needed just to have the economy to keep up with MaxPax in the late game. The problem is the gas right now, though. Making all these Vikings, he's actually out of gas.
Yeah, there is potential for MaxPax to eventually starve Maru out, even though Maru is taking so many bases. But I think it will have to.
Yo, we have DTs in the mix. Let's go.
The bottom right command center.
Going for the planetary.
Maru having his bottom left corner of the map, but you cannot give him
Mass
any more
lid
than
rocking
that.
up.
Big engagement now happening.
Liberation zones do
Maru
set
is
up in
able to jump
time.
on this
Oh my
army
god.
That sniped the planetary fortress, and that was not
And
a
MaxPax
worthy
will lose
trade
everything.
there for
Jesus.
MaxPax. So many Colossi and Tempi getting Tempests getting taken
He lost
out
every
as the
Tempest.
Remax will
Every
come through.
Tempest just went down.
Gateway
One
units here
Colossus
for MaxPax,
survived.
back to
Oof.
18 Zealots, 23 Stalkers, the only splash damage, 1 Archon, and 1 Colossus.
MaxPax just caught out of
He's gonna
position.
use his maneuverability to move down into the bottom right and try and snipe one more base, but Maru is hot on his heels.
Yeah, so many Colossus fell in that last fight. The Gateway army kind of left them alone. And Maru here going to try and take out this Nexus and then get down there. He won't be in time to defend.
We are trading
this
bases, but
planetary.
MaxPax,
That's a
he should
big
lose
win
too.
for MaxPax. But his army, his whole
Oh,
army is kind of
deliberation.
trapped here almost.
Oh, he's able to blink away. Luckily, it's mostly Stalkers, so they're about as nimble as they possibly get here. MaxPax going to lose a couple of Nexus, most likely. He just cannot go tit for tat with his army here
We'll lose
at
the center
Maru,
base.
but he's able to take down a lot of bases. The bottom
Oh,
right
diving
base
on the
has been
ghost.
taken out.
Nice catch.
Maru has retaken that high yield
MaxPax.
gas base in the center, but the DT
You got like 5 ghosts there, 4 to 5.
The worrying thing for MaxPax is that this is probably the last gas remax that he's got. He has 300 gas
like
in the bank.
MaxPax is out of money. We spoke about it, but MaxPax, he's been losing so many bases that he's running out of money himself. He has minerals, but he has no gas.
So 3 Tempest, 3 Disruptors, probably a lot of Zealots are going to be reinforcing here for Protoss in just a moment. And Maru, he can just sit back. He's got the extra command centers. He can just float one back on over to the bottom right if he wants to.
Yeah, indeed. And I'm kind of curious why MaxPax never took the pocket base. Like, I know it's only half a base, but at some point it feels like it must be worth it. I don't know. You get an extra geyser.
Yeah, I think MaxPax, he forgot. Like, right now, because MaxPax is so desperate for money, like, in the pocket base, it would be crucial.
Full bases. Now Blink's in, trying to pick off some of these units. A CC down here is kind of exposed, but MaxPax will not commit on to getting that. The Terran army right now is actually been thinned down a little bit here. Maru's actually down to 15 workers right now, State. Solia's economy is in shambles.
Yeah, Maru's army much better than MaxPax's.
Ooh, catching out one disruptor for free.
Bottom right base. He lost 2 more command centers at that center base with a high yield Vespene gas. He needs to rely on constant.
But yeah, the economies are very low for both players. With MaxPax, he needs a fresh mining base. So does Maru.
186 supply. Very few SCVs are remaining here.
We're running out of money.
He's added into the mix. He also needs to make sure he has a couple of scans available and another command center at risk of going down. This engagement.
Oh, Nova's going up.
MaxPax's wait for now. And the
now, if MaxPax can land one of these Novas, he can end the game. Speaking of,
okay, only a couple of ghosts.
Let's connect.
Taken down there.
Oh my god.
These shots leaving so many in the red, and now Maru coming in from the top side on the ramp. MaxPax has to retreat. A group of Zealots try to take down that planetary fortress over there on the left side. They are
another disruptor goes down. One disruptor left.
His muscles with this army over here.
One left, Pappy. He wants it. Sorry, 3 left.
Is absolutely huge. A lot of it is
2.
in his Vikings though, which can't do anything around, but it's too much. After an insane back and forth for so long, MaxPax forced to GG out eventually. What a game number 1 there, State.
GG, well played. A very intense game number 1 here. Again, MaxPax, he could never fight head on. He was doing the best he could, and it was really impressive to see MaxPax just kind of like bob and weave his army in between the bases and in between the army of Maru, as he could never fight head on, and he was able to pick off CC after CC after CC. It was impressive, but as we were trying to emphasize, the reality is that Maru, he was able to build up his perfect army, his perfect composition of Liberator, Viking, Ghost, and he was so cost efficient, even though Maru did have technically a lower base count and a lower worker count throughout almost all of that game. He was able to be more efficient with his army, have better trades, and more importantly, deny the expansions of MaxPax. This is also where MaxPax, he most likely did forget about his pocket base. If he didn't, if he had that expansion, maybe he wins that game. Like, again, he was starved for money. Both players were, and having that extra expansion could mean everything, to be honest. So a little bit unfortunate that MaxPax did forget and never took that pocket base, and likewise as a result had a really stifled economy here. So did Maru. Was very close, very clutch, very back and forth. GG, well played. GG, well played. And this shows, this I feel like is a good example of what PvT currently is. We were trying to emphasize this at the start of the series, but PvT, the meta has been shifting over the past month, where we've been seeing less 2-base all-ins, we've been seeing less mech, of course, as well, and we've been seeing a lot more mid to late game. Again, Terran late game is now stronger than it once was, now especially with the reduced supply for the Ghost. Now more Ghosts are getting involved, and getting into Ghost Liberator is much more viable, but here we go, we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Meanwhile, big shout out to Luis GGG in the chat. Gah, papi, gah. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream, hope you had a great ladder session, hope you had a great time, and we are jumping into the final series of the broadcast, game 2. Maru's up 1-0, and now we're jumping into Tokamak. Oh boy. This map is going to favor the Protoss.
I like that addition, but man, what just a perfect game of PvT.
Yeah, that was awesome, and very map specific as well. With the pocket base there, Maru was able to take those quick 3 CCs.
Say in the chat, Maru's not much richer either. That is true, but Maru had the better army. He had the more efficient army, that's what I should say. So yes, even though Maru had a worse economy, it didn't matter as much for him. Like, his army made up for that.
So annoying. We played a beautiful, majestic game number 1, and now you're going to do this, Maru. You're going to drop an engineering, burying the natural expansion. Are you going to follow this up with Hellions too, Maru? Are you a bad person?
I love it.
I mean, I love
Most
the
likely
cheeks of
not.
casting it, but
If it happens to you, then you say some bad things.
it's one of my least
So this is a cheeky stuff for Maru. You can see he's eBay blocking the natural and he's SCV blocking the linear third base. So he's forcing the triangular third out of MaxPax.
Okay, MaxPax just going to take it at the.
And Maru only opened up one gas, so he should be going for the
Doesn't even wanna
CC.
deal with that and take it out just yet. This probe, we'll see that there's a Reaper on the way. Although actually can get out of there before the Reaper is in time, and the SCV scouts.
Yep, there's a cancel, there's a CC.
It's usually like 145, 150. If you pull the pro back around that timing, you're going to be safe versus the Reaper.
Now, I spoke about the map itself. We're going to Tokamak. Tokamak is a very large map of the map pool, but this map is different compared to Celestial Enclave. Celestial Enclave, the map that we were just in, is also a larger map. That is true, but this map is more defendable. It is easier to maintain your 4 and 5 bases, but also the map is wider, and there's a bigger kind of gap from between your half and your opponent's half of the map as well. Because of the terrain, because of the setup, it is easier for the Protoss player to mass expand and to retain those bases as well. If you remember last game, MaxPax, he was expanding on Maru's half of the map, and he was trying to take bases that were right next to Maru's expansions, right? Like, that's why MaxPax couldn't defend those bases and couldn't maintain a greater economy. Ideally, in the late game, the Protoss player wants to be up 2-3 bases compared to the Terran, and MaxPax couldn't do that. He couldn't pull that off. But here on this map, the bases are more spread out, they're further apart. It is easier to actually take those fringe bases and maintain those fringe bases as a Protoss player. So this map does favor MaxPax coming into the late game, if we go into the late game. I would say that Maru is more incentivized to be hyper-aggressive here to end it early. But let's go.
Here from Maru, so not going to go for the Hellion play here against the 4th third base of MaxPax. And this Reaper has been such a nuisance.
And already this is a more aggressive build. Remember, last game it was 3 CC, 3 racks, this time 1-1-1.
Don't want to lose any Marines here. Nice little micro there by Maru. We see that medevac coming out for the drop, as you mentioned, and it's going to be all about if he can get any damage done with that Widow Mine. Protosses are so good at dealing with that, I feel like, these days, but sometimes you get a little bit more than normal. It's going to be a double mine drop here, it looks like.
Yeah, medevac about 75% done now.
So we have Maru opening up with a Woodbine job, potential with Marines as well. Meanwhile, MaxPax playing safe, going 3-gate blink. So 3-gate blink Stalker, safe play out of MaxPax. It's a little bit awkward because MaxPax is forced to expand at the unnatural location, but we'll see if he can keep up.
In this case, it is the 3rd base.
Ooh, Maru, he's going for the all-in. Let's go. So,
and forcing the Protoss to take this
so Maru, he opens up with the Widow Mine drop. That's designed to distract, and behind that you can see tank and Viking production. The goal is for Maru to rally. His goal here is to rally and to break the quote-unquote natural base of MaxPax.
It can be pretty difficult to break for the Protoss. Why did he leave that one mine behind?
Oh, interesting. You're right.
It's with the main army
right now in this medevac.
Yeah, very interesting here. I don't know why.
So again, hyper aggression out of Maru.
One mine lands here. MaxPax pulls the pros instantly.
The other waddles into the natural.
Nice micro. Oh, he walks it to that base, dude. That's so smart.
Yeah, that is very
Oh, the
smart.
retargeting.
I was confused. Like, did he forget about it? And then I was
there's
like,
no way.
And then I was like, no, this is
Maru.
Maru. There's just no way. It's got to be something smart. My smooth brain just couldn't figure it out.
And we're trying to keep up with
And you can see Maru, he's building up his tanks and his Vikings. The goal there is to land the Vikings. You land the Vikings, and landed Vikings actually trade very well against Stalkers. And you can see, they land, it's time to push.
Alright, siege tank push now.
At the same time, we do see MaxPax. Oh, he spots the move out.
No tech lab add-ons at all. It's just the Marines coming through. It might actually just be a 2-1-1 here for Maru. No stim, no combat.
Yeah, the boys are being pulled. As we mentioned, it's a 2-base all-in.
It is just all about raw power. A lot of SCVs getting pulled as well. 6 or 7 joining the front lines here. As Maru is going to be
And this is meant to end the
base
game.
in just a moment. And for MaxPax, there isn't a fallback expansion. If he loses this Nexus, he's down to just the main base, so he must defend this position.
Oh, the mine drop is coming back
just
in.
on 2 bases. The tanks boldly push up.
Oh, the robot's exposed.
Right in range
He has
of
to
the
pull the
Nexus.
boys.
Nexus. The probes pulled immediately. MaxPax pulling everything.
Nice
to the front
retarget
edge, trying
firing.
to hang
Goes on the
Big
Immortal. The
Widow
Immortal goes
Mine
down.
Immortal, it would go
Massive
down.
pickoff.
The Stalker's Blink do get a tank, but at what cost?
Man, 20 probes go down there for MaxPax, and Maru, he might have lost the siege tanks, but he still has so much army right here. 2 landed Vikings, a lot of SCVs to repair them too.
Yeah, the Vikings just keep landing. GG gets called, and Maru, he will take game number 2.
15 seconds is sending us to a game number 3.
That was genius, dude. I love how every decision from Maru kind of followed the fact that he eBay blocked. Like, I'm gonna...
But GG well played. And again, we did expect Maru to be more aggressive. As we mentioned at the beginning of the series, we spoke about how this map favors MaxPax in the late game. We spoke about how easier it is for the Protoss player to mass expand and take the fringe bases. So we expected Maru to avoid the late game here in game 2, went for the 2-base all-in. And of course, it was exemplified by the fact that he was forcing MaxPax to expand at the 3rd location. So MaxPax was more exposed than normal because of the early game, because of the eBay block. So a very well kind of formulated build there by Maru. It all kind of led into each other. MaxPax was unable to slow down the push. He was unable to engage ahead of time. Ideally, you want to engage as the army pushes to pick away at the Marines, the SCVs, the Vikings. He was unable to do so. GG well played.
Or I should say, the second base for MaxPax is so close. And yeah, that was just a very well-crafted build.
And we'll see what map we load into for game number 3. For now, it looks like they're going to be cutting to a break. They're going to be cutting to a break here as we're almost done with the series. Once again, we hope that it's going to be a game 3, a game 4, maybe an ace match. The pressure is on MaxPax, though. The pressure is on, and Maru needs one more win to claim the series. Oh boy. One of the better maps to Cannon Rush. We don't expect a Cannon Rush at this level of play. I mean, I say that Cannon Rushes do exist against Zerg as reactions and responses, but it's very niche when it comes to the map itself. Very, very niche. For example, punishing like the goal base on Torches or on El Dorado or something like that. Like there are definitely situations where you, on Alkione, I should say. There's situations where you can Cannon Rush for sure. But in this matchup, it's quite rare. It's quite rare. You know, obviously Maru versus Prince comes to mind from a couple of years ago in GSL. I say that was like 2019 or something. It's been quite some time since Maru versus Prince in the Cannon Rush. 6 minutes time push, so difficult to do with this Protoss. Well, as we mentioned, like it's about MaxPax engaging ahead of time, slowing down the army, picking away at the Marines, forcing an early siege. True, forcing an early siege. But as we mentioned, like he has less time to react and less time to deal with that push because he expanded towards the Terran instead of away from the Terran, right? Because of the forward base that he was forced to take. So that made it even more difficult. But with that, GG. With that, GG well played. We're going to be cutting to a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes time with the next game. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, we have returned here, and we're mid-series. We're mid-series with Maru versus MaxPax, and we are jumping into game number 3. Let's go. Let us go. Hoping that we have a back and forth series here, but the pressure is on MaxPax. The pressure is on. He's currently down 0-2, and we'll see what map we load into. I'm curious. I do forget the map order here of the series, so I'm not entirely certain as to where this is going to lead. Let's go. Let us go. We are going to be getting ready.
Give us like a couple more minutes to chill out because that game 1, it had me completely winded, but hey, we had a little bit of a break. Game number 2 was nice and easy, and now we can get back into the action because map number 3
so we go. Oh, as we're jumping in. As we are jumping in, and oh, it's going to be Mothership. Okay. In the top left-hand corner, we do have our Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss for System Gaming. It is MaxPax. In the bottom side, it is Maru for Team Vitality. Let's go. Let us go. We're jumping into game number 3. And with this, we'll see how our players do approach this. Welcome to a 3-player spawn map. So 3 different spawn locations are available, of course, and we'll see where our players do take us. Now, specifically when it comes to this map, it is also very large and very wide. And we have seen a lot of Terran players struggle in the late game on Mothership. The reasoning for this is because the map is so large and so wide, the Protoss player has an easier time expanding on the fringe corners of the map, taking and maintaining those bases and containing the Terran player on a lower base count. So similarly to on Tokamak, I would say that the pressure is on Maru to be aggressive early on. Last game, we had Maru be hyper aggressive and go for a 2-base all-in. Do we see another 2-base all-in here? Do we see something different? Again, I do expect to see aggression out of Maru, but we'll see. We'll see what he goes for.
Dude, we are in space right now. This feels like very sci-fi. It's really cool.
We're inside a giant guardian shield with those hexagons.
The universe is a guardian shield. But yeah, I really like this map. Just kind of gameplay aside, just the aesthetics are super cool. Very kind of Protoss-y feel, obviously. be in the mothership.
Yeah,
And
so
there's
now we
so
are
many
going to be
little
building
small
up.
details here.
Ooh, is that? Oh, look, it's controlling the shield. There's a little control module right there. You get a little simulated. I see the orb. Yeah, look at that. That's us.
Controlling the shield. All right. Anyway, gameplay wise, what have we got here? We got a Nexus going down as well as the core, and a quick factory here for Maru.
Yeah, very fast factory coming in here for Maru.
Yeah, it's going to be a double gas opener. So double gas opener out of Maru going for a faster factory. This is a more tech-heavy start. This can lead into something like Banshee play. This can lead into Reactor Reaper Hellion, can lead into more Cyclones early on. This by no means is an all-in. It is just a more tech-heavy start from Maru. And we'll see where that tech leads us. We'll see. As MaxPax opening up, ooh, Stargate. Uh-oh.
The Reaper does jump into the main, confirms where MaxPax is, and also what he's making there in the main. I don't think he saw the Stargate, did he?
Not yet.
No, that would have been nice, but that information will be denied here for MaxPax, so that's nice for him.
And Starport now getting started here by Maru. Cyclone as well, so potentially a Cyclone drop coming in here for Maru in just a couple of minutes, and it would hit really fast if that was the play. Again, this was factory before command center, so really quick tech up coming in here by Terran.
So winding it back, talking about the build itself, with MaxPax going for the faster Stargate, this is a little bit of a risky play style. It can be abused by all-ins. All-ins are stronger against Stargate play just because you have that much less to slow down the army and to slow down the push. So we'll see what Maru goes for. What's important is that Maru has failed to scout. He doesn't know yet.
That Cyclone will allow Maru to have a little push here in the beginning of the game, but oh, it's going to be Banshee with Cloak.
Yeah, I was wondering if it might be the medevac play for a dropship, but no,
yeah, never mind.
Straight into Cloak.
As we mentioned, because of double gas, it had to lead into something more tech heavy. Here, it is Banshee play.
It's going to be very hard to see that coming across kind of this airspace.
Nice catch with the Cyclone.
Going to go straight into the main base of Maru. He will find that one adept with the Cyclone. That's nice, but this is the real threat right now.
And Maru, what's in the main?
Oh,
Nothing.
MaxPax actually turning around with the Oracle. I think with the Cyclone threat, he doesn't really want to risk it.
Wow.
I'm surprised that he turned
There was the
around there
opportunity.
with the Oracle.
Yeah, all the Marines were down.
He scouts, he confirms.
Like he may have just.
It finally got revealed right there.
Oh yeah, it felt like there might have been a window to do something there, but
No, there was.
MaxPax's spidey senses were tingling. He turns around, and it's going to keep that Oracle alive for now.
Yeah, you can hear it in the voices of the casters. Like, they don't want to call him out too much, but the reality is that there was an opening, 100%. There was an opening there for MaxPax. MaxPax, because of the Cyclone, he felt like it was unsafe to do so, so he pulled away. He missed the opportunity. He missed an opportunity to do some damage. Now that opportunity has come and gone. Now Maru knows that it's a Stargate. Now he knows that there are Oracles, and now he's in position.
Now he's going to come into the main. Spots that Cyclone, immediately hightails it out of there. Still no wind, I think, of the Cloak Banshee.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's going to need that Oracle for a revelation here if the Banshee is able to cloak in a good position. Oh, actually he shows it hidden in a Nexus. That's not ideal there.
Now Oracle now coming back, so revelation will be available here for MaxPax. Actually, a Phoenix even being chrono boosted.
Yeah, Maru.
Right now.
What's really interesting here, he pulls the boys. He pulls the boys. This is very similar to last game. As we mentioned, we did expect to see Maru be hyper aggressive on Mothership. You don't want to go into the longer and later game, but there's a lot of stasis traps.
The initial reveal of the Cloak
Oh, the
Banshee
scan.
is because and he's using it to take out the stasis trap. That's so smart coming in by Maru, and now the army is joining forces.
Ooh, gets one of the Banshees.
Is the Phoenix going to lift up the tank? Instead, no. MaxPax just going to retreat
Avoids the
out. Maru
stasis.
knows where the last stasis trap is. SCB is
Baits
going
out
to disarm
one.
that. These Marines barely on the
Can he get on top of the
Do not
pylon?
get caught by the stasis ward.
Oh my god, he
Two
can.
siege tanks are knocking on the front door of MaxPax's natural expansion.
And we spoke about this. Stargate openers are weak against all-ins. Like the Phoenixes, the Oracles, they do nothing here. They almost do nothing.
Army right now.
Boys are being pulled. He has to commit. He's going for the lift. Gets one tank.
Picks up the tank, blinks in, picks
Oh
up the
my
other
god.
tank as well. The other one falls as the Phoenix
Barely
dies,
gets
and
both,
this
okay.
Banshee is going to town on these stalkers right now.
Barely got both
much
tanks.
DPS, and so many probes going down.
Yeah,
Oh, no
21
detection.
probes. The entire natural expansion null and void in terms of mining right now as MaxPax retreating to the safety of the shield battery, but it is finally out of energy. More siege tanks reinforcing across these maps. Man, the Banshees are getting so much damage done. They don't have Cloak anymore. There's no more energy left, but just the DPS is huge. 7 kills on that Banshee there on the left side. As now the
Yeah, the
third
tank
base
siege is up. The
nearly
base will go
forfeit here
down.
For MaxPax, and Maru might soon be meeting Hero in the upper bracket finals.
Yeah, this Nexus will fall. MaxPax still has the natural base, but
yeah, it was just
so
really
many
unfortunate for
workers got down. I
MaxPax.
think
He
Maru
did take a
actually has
risk,
the
did take a
incoming
chance
advantage
going into a
now.
Stargate
Will
opener.
be natural
As he
as well.
mentioned, like there was a higher risk of Maru being hyper aggressive, and he gets across map. Tank does siege. He dies on the tank. Oh my god. How about the Cloak Banshee?
There's so many stalkers going down here.
The Cloak Banshee's punished so hard.
Firepower coming in
Crazy.
from Maru with the Banshees, with the Marines, stutter stepping to glory here in the natural expansion. Those 3 Banshees, they're solo on HP. Finally, with a blink forward by MaxPax, he's able to clean up 2 of them, but there's no income left to muster an army and repel the forces of Maru. And Maru, with a 3-0 victory, is going to dispatch MaxPax to that lower bracket. He is going to meet Hero in the upper bracket finals.
That's going to be amazing.
GG, well played. Again, a very intense series here between Maru and MaxPax. I do feel like it was very map dependent. Game 1 on Celestial Enclave, it was easier for Maru to turtle up and build up with a boosted economy, so he was able to embrace the late game. So you got to experience that late game TvP with the Terran player having that advantage of the better economy coming into the late game. Then we loaded into Tokamak and Mothership, 2 maps that I would favor Protoss in the late game. So we avoided it completely. Maru, he was like, hey, Protoss, they're favored on Tokamak, they're favored on Mothership, let's just end it early, go for the all-in. It was a risk for MaxPax to open Stargate on Mothership. It was a risky maneuver. He felt like it was going to be safer to do so because the map is so large, but again, Stargate play does leave you vulnerable to 2 base all-ins, and we saw Maru go for it. The Oracles, the Phoenixes, they couldn't do much. We saw 1 lift on the tank, then the Phoenix got focused down. The Oracles, they were trying to throw down stasis traps, but we had Maru scanning ahead of time, saw the stasis traps, shut them down as well. GG, well played. It was going to be a tough hold there for MaxPax, and was thinking a little bit too far ahead on Mothership. GG, well played. And you can also argue maybe Maru getting in the head of MaxPax a little bit. We did try to emphasize that MaxPax, there was a window where he could have dealt damage with his Oracle, but he didn't go for it. He was scared because of the Cyclone. Like he was second guessing himself, and he did pull back, did pull away. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Maru, he will claim the series, and now we have our top players here. From the beginning, from the top, we have Hero and Maru in the upper bracket. We have MaxPax versus Classic, and Reina versus Shin in the lower bracket. Oh boy, so we do have a lot of mirror matchups down there, and this tournament will continue tomorrow with the next 3 series. Oh boy. So we'll be back tomorrow. I think it's with 3 series or 2.
It's going to be exciting, man.
It's a great bracket as we take a look here at the Season 3 schedule. And you might be looking at this like, oh, only 8 days of RSL. Is it smaller?
Just double checking.
We are running double days this entire second week.
So we have day 3 and day 4. So okay, so we have 2 more days. And I believe we should be having 3 series tomorrow. 3 series, 3 matches.
It's starting earlier.
And I think a best of 7 as well.
If you're watching live on, or not live, I would guess.
Just listen in.
If you're watching the VODs on YouTube.
If you're watching the VODs live at home.
it might as well be the same thing. But yeah, a lot of action coming to you. We only have 2 days left in this season. As Sunday, we will be crowning a champion, and Tasis also will be joining us again soon, as of course he was receiving the Esports Lifetime Achievement Award in America this past weekend. We want to give a big shout out to our official partner here for the RSL Season 3, Archon Studio. They are making the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game the official StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game. We have a box
but with that, GG, well played. With that, we're going to be raiding another StarCraft 2 streamer who's live at the moment. I don't really see many live, I'll be honest. I do see Sugar Colts live. Oh, Snake Style. Okay. Give some love to Snake Style. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. And we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow for another day of the RSL. When it comes to the rest of our schedule here, very quickly, bam. Tomorrow morning, we might be live with the Wardy TV replay cast. I might actually have to move that. So let me just double check here. Wardy's been a little bit slow when it comes to the replays. I've been waiting for the replays for this week's Wardy TV Monday, but we might have to move some stuff around here. Let me just double check. Let's have a look. Yeah, I still didn't have it. So we might have to move some stuff around. But regardless, we're going to be live with at least RSL tomorrow. So the Rival StarCraft League. It's 2 days left. 2 days remaining to wrap up this tournament. Is it going to be Maru, Hero, Rainer, Classic, Shin, or MaxPax? They're the remaining players here to be our RSL champions best of luck. Best of luck to all the players, as of course that will continue tomorrow and on Sunday as well. We'll have to adjust some of our schedule just because there's a lot going on next week with OSC tournaments, with Kung Fu Cup as well, with the Turtle Tussle, and with the November finals of Sparkling Tuna Cup. It's going to be a very busy end of November, and thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. Thank you so much for the support. If you want to support us, you can do so via following us on all the socials, !socials in the chat. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. You can follow us there. Otherwise, you can support us on Patreon. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments. We do host tournaments on a weekly basis. Every single week, we have some Tuna Cup action, and every month, we have SDO and MSO, all funded via Patreon. Thank you so much to all our current patrons, and we are so close to our next goal. Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next goal is to boost the prize pool even further for the Tuna Cups. So you can help support us there. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi ciao. See you tomorrow for some more RSL.